take it out and wipe.
Why are we rolling cameras already?
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I use.
Can we
put my gum
not
in?
roll the cameras?
We have to.
Wait, what do I do with it?
I don't have a crew. Just wipe your forehead down.
Oh. Just my forehead? Just like this? What is happening?
Coming pre-tape from the LA Mission College Studios in Los Angeles, California. This is the Best Coast Show. I'm your host, Albert Aguilera. That's my producer, Curtis Sage. Curtis, I had a successful trip to Asia. I do not believe that I am sick, but if I am, it might be dormant. So just kind of.
You look a little pink. Did you eat a lot of shrimp or
Fish. I had a lot of fish.
Fish
A lot of ramen.
you look a little pink?
A little pink?
Yeah. I mean,
Pink
you
like
kind
I'm
of
sick, or pink like I'm just under the weather because
you
it's
kind of always
cold
look
out?
pink to me, but I think you look a little more pink now.
I look more pink.
I don't know. So your trip was good.
Yeah.
Did you watch any baseball while you were there?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately. Unfortunately. And as you guys can tell, we have a guest with us today who's been covering the Dodgers for spring training. Welcome back to the show, Michael Duarte, everybody.
Yay. Thank you, everybody. My dog has been coming with me to spring training. I did not bring it on set because you had just come back from Korea.
And you're afraid I would get your dog sick?
I was afraid you tried to eat him.
Good one, Michael. I
Thank
like
you.
that.
You never know over there in Korea. I'm sure you had a lot of meat and tacos and things that you had no idea. I bet you ate a lot of living things as well.
I did have octopus out of the back of a truck on the street.
That
Okay.
sounds
Sounds
like
good.
it's
That
gonna
sounds
be
really dicey.
Not gonna, yeah, it does
But
not
it was
sound
actually
sketch
pretty
at
good.
all.
I was kicked out of 2 restaurants in a cab because I was a foreigner, and everywhere that my Korean friends were taking me to, they had to call in advance and let them know that they were bringing a foreigner. Because apparently,
That's weird.
apparently
You were
they,
kicked out for being a foreigner or because you were ragging on.
no,
Who were you?
like, dude, I was literally just walking in,
Oh wow.
and they were just like, no, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'd probably kick
Didn't
out
you say like your
Americans
mother's half Korean? Would they have bought that?
I don't know. I don't speak any Korean,
Huh.
so I wouldn't have been able to do that.
I think they'd know really quickly that he's not half Korean. That's pretty.
Well, 1/4.
clear.
His mom was.
He could be
half.
one.
I was trying to get
He could-
something there.
Oh, mom was
Just
half.
be
and
like,
then
I'm
he's-
friends with Chloe Kim. It's all
There you
good. Yeah. They let you in anyway.
So you're back. You went to Japan as well.
I
too.
went to Japan right after Korea.
Which one was better?
Oh, Japan by a mile.
Why?
Because in Japan, even though people don't speak English and I don't speak any Japanese, they were all super nice and super helpful. And baseball, there's a second language. So even when you're like, you can't communicate with words, I'm like the pantomiming world champion now, and everyone knew baseball.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that was extremely helpful, the fact that everybody knew baseball.
And did you watch a baseball game in Japan?
I did not watch a baseball game in Japan because of the time zones. I missed the game I was scheduled to go to by a day.
Oh.
So I was literally 24 hours late to this
So
game.
you bought the tickets.
Yes,
but
I bought
they were-
tickets here in Los Angeles. The website was set to my IP address, and it said, the dates were the dates, and they're 18 hours ahead of us. So I got from the airport to my hotel, and I'm walking over to the Tokyo Dome, and I was like, is everybody already inside? Like, what the hell's going on? The Tokyo Dome was closed.
So you got there, you're like, no game.
He was
No,
24 hours late, but still earlier than Alex Faust is to the set when it's time to
Oh.
record an episode.
Very nice. Man, zinger there from Michael.
He's not used to the traffic yet.
He's not from LA.
he's
so
not used to the traffic
got
yet.
it.
I think he's probably used to it now.
he'll
That was
figure
at
it
the
out.
start of the season.
Yeah.
He's
Right,
probably
but
used to it now.
Japan was cool. The food, the culture, every stereotype you've ever heard of Japan, it's true.
Really?
Everything.
Now you blended in well because you're short,
I'm short, yeah.
so you blended in quite well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's
what
good.
are some of these stereotypes?
Okay, like
I've been to Japan though. I was
Okay,
just
so like
there,
growing
last
up, you always
February,
heard
2
that
years
that
ago.
rumor was like, haha, you could buy women's underwear from a vending machine. You can.
You
I
can.
saw them on the street.
They have the craziest things.
Yes.
Why
They have the
would you want to do that?
I don't know. That's weird, right? But that's
who
a
runs
cultural
out
thing.
of underwear
And then
while they're
you're
on
like,
the street?
You're like walking down the street, and it's just like anime titties everywhere. And then
Really?
yes, and then like every restaurant, not every restaurant, every like store also doubles as a sex shop.
Oh.
And their stores.
I didn't see that, but I was.
Well,
in the
their
wrong
stores near
places.
buildings are always like, it was incredibly difficult to get around because it's like, oh, I got to go to the whatever restaurant. Okay, that's on whatever street in the whatever district, building whatever, floor whatever, room whatever. And you're kind of like,
Oh my God.
and the street section, like district names are named after like the massive buildings that are there. So I'm thinking, okay, what if this hotel is like not this hotel anymore in 5 years?
Yeah. Did they
So
rename
then what?
the?
I don't know.
Interesting.
But it did take me a while to try and get around because I was constantly lost and I don't know any Japanese.
Yeah.
But Japanese people were extremely helpful.
That's good.
Yeah.
The food was good. The sushi was good.
The-
Noodles were good.
Yes.
You have street noodles. It was great.
Albert does like
that
to
was
eat,
good.
so
Love to
that's
eat.
Green tea, I had some of the most amazing. There's so many.
Here's
types
what
of
blew
green tea
everyone's
there.
mind, right? I show up, and I went out there for a business meeting, which went awesome, by the way. My translator was amazing. And we're sitting down to eat, and this blew everybody's mind. I go to grab the chopsticks, and I actually know how to use them. And everyone was like,
yeah.
and they're like, you're really good at that. Like, do you practice? And I was like, well, I eat ramen and sushi like 3-4 times a week in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You have that there? I'm like, yes, we're
It's
a major
Los
city.
Angeles.
How do they know that?
We're a
Yeah.
major city.
We
So
have
it
the
totally
largest
blew their mind.
contingency
Like,
of
they were
Japanese.
complimenting me on how well my chopstick skills were. And I'm like, yeah, like,
Do
Dude,
they
I would-
also?
I would fit in. I'd use chopsticks there as well. I brought back like 10 different flavors of Kit Kats when I
Really?
went to Japan.
Whoa,
Wasabi Kit Kat.
nice.
no thanks.
Yeah.
I brought back, I brought back baseballs.
Oh, good.
Baseballs, look, I brought you guys some stuff.
Oh, nice.
Look, since I figured I couldn't go into the Tokyo Dome, I'd bring some of the Tokyo Dome with me.
Okay.
So, Michael, that's for you.
So you went to the gift shop.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. Look
Because-
at
Shop
this.
is up.
Curtis,
Tokyo
that's for you.
Dome.
So, the
Nice.
I'll hold this
Tokyo
up for the
Dome.
I
viewers.
bet I can mask this ball better than you Darvish does his pitches.
Because we have a handful of these, and if you guys want one of them, we're going to be giving them away on the social media. So social media coordinator Dave will get these ready, and we'll start giving them away on the
I
Twitter.
think
and
our
stuff.
social media coordinator is now Johnny now.
It's
might
not.
be
Oh,
too
we got rid of Dave since I was gone. I was gone for like
I
2
fired
weeks,
him.
and you fired Dave.
I fired him. Yeah.
Four-seamer.
I
All
got
right.
Johnny now.
Whatever.
All right.
So okay, so Michael, that means we're going to be one man short of a curling team. You want to get in on this curling team now that social
Absolutely.
media
Yes,
Dave
I
is
watched the
fired?
curling team. Yes.
Oh,
Gold
Wait.
medal.
there you go.
Gold medal men's team.
Yeah. I'll take that plastic if you want, so you don't,
Just throw all the trash.
Yeah, just throw all the trash
Doesn't
over
matter,
there.
Curtis.
Doesn't matter.
So
Hold on to the ball.
what was really cool was, I'm wearing a Dodger hat. I'm wearing a Kuroda shirt. I'm walking around Japan, and I don't speak any English, and everyone would see the shirt, see that it said
Kuroda's
Kuroda.
back there, right?
Yeah, and people would just start name dropping Japanese baseball players in America at me, and I was like, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, I've heard of that person. And then when they get to you, Darvish, because I was wearing a Dodger hat, they all became extremely apologetic. They were like, "Oh, Darvish,
Oh,
oh."
that's great.
Yeah, and they were all like really sorry that he
they
was on the
knew
team.
that he
That he
screwed
shit
us
the bed.
I knew
over.
they were respectful as it is. But
Yeah,
that's even
and
better.
it was so crazy that they were all apologizing to me because you Darvish blew Game 7. I was just like,
I have a Yu Darvish quote from spring training for you.
Let's hear
"Ooh,
that.
Let's hear it.
He played the Dodgers at Sloan Park where the Chicago Cubs play. He pitched and started that game, and the Cubs actually won that game, unfortunately. But after his appearance, I think he did about 3 innings, and they talked to him after. Now, this could have been lost in translation, but his translator said, when asked about the Dodgers and free agency, didn't want to get into it. I am a Cub now, and my goal is to beat the Dodgers.
We actually talked about
We
that on
talked
the last
about that,
episode.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
we talked
word,
about it just
word
briefly.
for word, quote
Yeah.
for quote.
And it was,
Because he knows we're the team to beat.
yeah, that's what you
That's
said.
what it is. We're the
I was
team to
pissed,
beat.
actually.
We're the team to
But
beat.
I think it was taken out of I don't speak Japanese. I wish I was, so I could find out like literally what he was saying. I feel like it was more of those like, cliche baseball answers where like, I'm
Right.
on this team now, so they're just another opponent.
Right.
so
I'm
that's
sure-
what he
Rather
meant.
than
See,
like,
I'm-
all I care about is beating the Dodgers.
Right,
I don't
and
think that's
I'm
it.
sure
I mean,
that's
the
what it
guy,
was.
the guy
He's
turned
not
down
Madison Bumgarner,
The guy
is what you're
turned
saying.
down deals from the Brewers, the Twins, because he wanted to see if the Dodgers could free up the money to bring him. He was hanging out with Clayton Kershaw all off season, playing catch. They were throwing partners. So, I think
Would you have brought him back?
yes,
You would have.
yes, because
We had a debate on this.
For $126 million in 6 years? That's a lot of
with
money.
The deal he got, I think the Cubs deal was a lot less than he would have gotten, maybe had he not had like what happened in the World Series and
Well,
his
sure.
bad season.
I
starting
think
in
I
Texas.
think that we win the World Series
I
and
think
he
that's
pitched Game
actually a
7. The
pretty
Dodgers
good
gave him
deal.
6 years,
That's a-
126.
They don't
Yeah.
like giving 6-year deals, but that's a pretty good deal.
Right.
He's a young guy. You need him in the regular season.
Yeah.
The regular season is a marathon.
Yes.
And I honestly believe, people have short-term memories, but he dominated the Diamondbacks in Game 3 of the NLDS. He
We remember
dominated the
that.
Cubs in Game 3 in Chicago of the NLCS. These are two teams who have only seen him a few times in their lives.
Versus the
But when
Astros,
he
who saw
plays
him
the
regularly.
Astros, who had seen him regularly,
Well, they did
multiple
their
times
scouting.
throughout the year. They were in the AL West with him for 7 seasons. They knew everything he threw, everything he pitched,
Yeah.
and he tips his pitches. We knew that coming in the trade. But when you're playing teams who aren't familiar with you, they don't necessarily know what's coming, whereas the Astros did. So just as much as you blame him, we also got to blame Dave Roberts in the front office.
I was
for
blaming
putting him
Dave
in
Roberts.
those situations.
I was blaming Dave Roberts because I was like, okay, we're an inning in and 2 runs down. Dave, I will fight you. You get him out of there.
He should never come out for the second inning, ever. I was sitting right there behind home plate in the press box.
And you did nothing?
No, I was
Were you
yelling.
not sending smoke signals or?
I knew right away he didn't have it. When
Yeah.
he couldn't, who's the pineapple guy?
Kike?
Oh yeah, no,
No,
Kiki's not
that's
the pine. He's the
banana.
banana
No,
guy.
the guy that did the Yu Darvish
Yeah,
singing
yeah.
in Game
Oh,
that
3
guy,
that got in
yeah,
trouble
yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Gurriel?
Yeah.
Gurriel, yeah.
Yeah. He could not get him out. He got behind him 0-2 and could not punch him out. And he ended up, I think, flying out to end the inning. But it was like a 13 pitch at bat in the first inning. That's when I knew if you get a guy down 0-2 and you can't put him away, like you don't have it tonight. You don't have it, and they're a step ahead of you. Get out of the game. You got everybody. You got Kershaw, Wood. You got everybody waiting. Bring him in.
Let's
assembly line.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about this a lot on our last show, and we both said we wouldn't want to bring him back.
Not for that kind of money.
Yeah, not for that kind of money. But if the Dodgers win the World Series, maybe that's a different story. But I just think I just don't see, yes, during the regular season, but we have a lot of pitchers. I mean, is he going to make that much of a difference
but I
in
think
the regular
last
season?
Yeah, in the regular season
but we
he will.
need
Last
him
year
in
was
the
an exception
postseason.
where we had like 26 different starting pitchers. Like
And-
that's insane.
and we
Can he
made it
get
to the
you?
World
Can he
Series.
get you 10 wins?
Great.
Absolutely.
But so can a bunch of other people.
Who?
Alex
But
Wood.
not for $126 million. You know what I'm saying? You could for $40 million get 10 or 12, 13 wins.
Well, I mean, right now it's
Alex Wood
like,
for
it's
Wayla.
Matt Kemp or him. That's kind of like the
We'll get
debate
to that.
because
We'll
the
get to
only
that
way they
pretty
would have
soon.
brought him is if they didn't have Matt Kemp to be able to afford that.
We'll get to that.
Salary.
So what you're telling me is I have another reason to boo Matt Kemp.
Yeah, you're bringing up the subtopic we want. I mean, Yu Darvish, that's a guy we can boo.
That's true.
Matt Kemp
Yes.
is a guy people
We'll
can
get
boo.
to that in a second. What I want to know is you saw Ohtani go up against the Dodgers. I saw him get just wrecked by Clayton Kershaw, and it's like, hey, welcome to the bigs, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you call watching Clayton Kershaw throw public enemy number 1 going up against the Dodgers? It seemed like I could go up and do the same thing Ohtani did.
Yeah, so could I.
I think I
That's
hit
true.
better in high school than Ohtani does
And
right
and
now in
that
the
was
majors.
one comparison that a lot of scouts were talking about with Ohtani, where he has the stance and the swing of a high school player. So you can't have a high school player immediately go up into the bigs. So they're saying this guy legit needs about 500 at bats in the minor league system. And
Yeah, that was Jeff Passan's article. on
yeah, and
that,
there was everybody like in Japan. Everywhere I went, there was Angel stuff. But it also said Ohtani over the instead of it saying Los Angeles or Anaheim, whatever it
Yeah.
says on their stupid thing.
Said Ohtani
It says
Angels.
Ohtani and then the Angels logo, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Well, Ohtani is the Japanese Babe Ruth for them. I mean, he's a cultural and icon and hero in that country. And unfortunately, in Japan, you see a lot of guys older in their career who are good hitters
Right.
go over there, but rarely do you see like state-of-the-art elite pitchers in the world going to Japan to play. Kenta Maeda was the Cy Young Award winner over in the Japanese league. He comes to the Dodgers, he comes to the big leagues, and he's above average, but I wouldn't say he's
Well, I mean,
elite where he was as a Cy Young winner in Japan. So Ohtani as a hitter has not seen
No.
the pitches, the curveballs, the sliders, the breaking balls that he's seen here. And I agree with the assessment that in order to be a good, successful hitter, he needs 500 minor league at-bats. The problem is he's arguably the second best pitcher right now, as of this moment, on the Angels pitching staff.
Yeah.
So you can't send him to the minor leagues.
So he's probably not
afford
going to
to.
hit.
so I honestly wouldn't let him
he
do both.
probably is going to hit. I mean,
He's
I
gonna
wouldn't
bat
let him do both,
160.
right? So if you let the guy bat, he's probably going to be your DH, and then he'll be your pitcher every 6 days because I hear they're going to a 6-man rotation.
correct.
And that was one of the reasons why I don't like bringing on Japanese baseball players into my team, even though the Dodgers have been relatively successful. Because in Japan, you're playing in one time zone. You're not playing a full 162 games. You're on a 6-man rotation. You're only playing the same 6 teams until you get into the finals. And it's kind of like, okay, you come to America, you're going across 3 time zones. You pitch once every 5 days. You're now playing against the best in the world, regardless of where they're coming from. Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, small from Europe. You got dudes in America. You have some of the best in Korea, Japan coming over here. And it's like, okay, you've never seen any of this, and you've never dealt with this type of a schedule, and you've never seen this level of play. You're going to get wrecked. And a lot of times they do.
Ichiro did fine.
As
I mean,
a
the players-
pitcher, he looks good, though.
Yeah.
Like, as a pitcher, he looks good. He hasn't hit the triple digits like that he was known for and able to hit Japan and throw 100 miles per hour, but his curveball looks good. His auxiliary and secondary pitches still look good. And so, like I said, right now, he's the second best pitcher on the Angels staff. But you just kind of mentioned it. The Angels are literally changing the way pitching rotations have been going for decades with a 5-man rotation to accommodate him and what he was doing in Japan. They are going to move Albert Pujols, who is a statue at this point defensively, put him back at first base and get him to play the field again in order to let Ohtani be a DH hitter. This guy courted, what was it, half a dozen MLB teams, narrowing him down to 6, making everybody come to LA to meet with him. There's a great story that Andy McCullough for the LA Times did, talking to Justin Turner, Chris Taylor, and Clayton Kershaw, as well as Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts, everybody who was in the room courting Ohtani. And they all said it felt like they were wasting their time, that he was never going to even consider the Dodgers. He wanted to be a DH. He did not want to play the field. And these guys felt like they flew out from Kershaw from Texas, Taylor from Virginia. I don't know, Justin Turner drove like 20 minutes probably, but an hour in traffic, you know, to court Ohtani, and he had no interest in ever going to a National League team, period. But my point was, is he does all of this, puts on this thing, makes the Angels cater to him. You think there's not an under-the-table agreement that he's not playing in the minors, that he's on the opening team day one, and that, yes, he's going to get to bat DH when he's not pitching, and he's going to be in the rotation? Absolutely, that deal takes place. So there's no way he's going down.
I know he's not going down, especially not when he gave up the equivalent of $200 million in Japan. And, you know, going back to what you said about these guys saying, hey, we're wasting our time. As soon as I saw the article where he's like, I need to be the only Japanese baseball player on my team, if I'm the Dodgers, I slammed the door and I'm like, listen, it's not going to happen here, bro, because we already have, at the time Darvish was still technically with us, like we already have 2 Japanese baseball players who are extremely popular in your country, and we might get more because we're the Dodgers. Like,
that made no sense to me. That was the one thing that didn't make sense of all these like requests and asks.
Well, he also wanted to be in a small market. I mean, Anaheim is a small market, but it's like he didn't want to be under the microscope.
I think that was the way of eliminating New York.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to be on the West Coast. My understanding is it was down to the Mariners and the Angels the whole time.
Yeah.
And
the Mariners gave up a lot to try and move stuff.
Right, to move money and stuff. My understanding it was between those 2 teams. And I think a lot of the fact that the general manager of the Angels and some of their scouts had also gone and seen him really young and courted him, just like the Dodgers did. But their scout, Logan White's now in San Diego.
Right.
But they were like recruiting him when he was 15, 16 years old, very young. So they put in the work. So I think that's kind of what gave the Angels the edge. But I never understood why he wanted to be the only Japanese player on a team, that request that leaked out to the media. I never understood that. To me, you would think you would want somebody else. I know that when Darvish was traded to the Dodgers, him and Maeda were eating dinner together, they were friends together, they were hanging out.
Right, you have somebody else that you can relate to on a personal level.
Who can take you to the best restaurants and stuff. Like, they like that. I think they like that, having that camaraderie between the two. I would think someone who's just trying to acclimate to the culture would want that as well in Ohtani. So I'm not sure why.
Maybe he's like a prima donna?
Being the only Japanese player on a team. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, listen, I need to be the only Mexican guy on this show.
But maybe he knows something in Japan that we don't know. I mean, he is the Babe Ruth over there, and very, you know, people love him, and so maybe
it could be that he cut deals with teams in Japan under the table, because that was one of the things with the new posting system where players would be like, okay, you can post me, and Japanese teams would be like, okay, we're going to release you to go play in America, but you got to give us some of that money contract. And then when the new posting system came out, the players' union was like, nah, you can't do that. You can't raffle them off to the highest bidder just so that your team back home could take some of that money.
Well, Ichiro is going back to the Mariners, right?
Yes.
Yes,
the story.
that's the story.
I mean, let's say if they had gotten Ohtani and then Ichiro was still available and wanted to come back, he's going to say no?
Yeah,
So, like,
exactly.
Ichiro coming back and playing for the Mariners where it all started? Like, that doesn't make sense. But again, the point was, I think there's no way they don't hit him, because I think he has an agreement under the table with them.
They could bat him
Like,
8th or 9th.
If you're doing a 6-man rotation, I'm pitching and I'm batting, period.
So you think he'll DH like 4 or 5 days of the week, or will he not play at all the day before he pitches?
They might give him breaks. They might say, we're not going to pitch you the day before and the day after. Maybe ways to shorten it up, but I'm sure there's an agreement on the table that's saying how much he's going to hit and play.
The only reason I would be
he's
okay
going to be
with
a liability at the
is
plate.
because he's not making any money. If let's say Clayton Kershaw could also hit 300, right? And he was kind of like, listen, I need to bat too. I'd be like, no, because I don't need you running the bases. We all know pitchers aren't athletes.
Right.
They look like goofy ducks, like trying to round the bases, and you're just like,
Well, Tony's got a good swing in batting practice when they're not throwing breaking ball pitches. They're just throwing softballs up there. I've seen him hit it further than Mike Trout.
So he's like Pedro Serrano.
I've seen him crush the ball.
He could only hit the fastball.
He has unbelievable raw natural power. He does have a good swing. Like I said, I've seen him outdistance Mike Trout.
Yeah.
And he's only 21, right?
Yeah, he's a young guy, so he can learn it.
Right.
Like I said, maybe they take him out early if he's a liability, late in the game if he's DHing. Maybe he's, like you said, 8th or 9th in the lineup as the DH.
It's 4 days a week.
Maybe they say before you pitch and after you pitch, you're gonna do that. But I'm sure this whole talk about him needing to play 500 games in the minors, it ain't happening.
No.
There's no way he's gonna do all this and come over and spend the first few months of the season in the minors. No way.
What if the Angels bust the Dodgers and he gets just phantom injuries, so he can go do rehab assignments in the minors? Like, he stubbed his toe.
I don't think the Angels are smart enough to do what the Dodgers do. But that's going to be interesting. And speaking of phantom injuries, I want to know if Pedro Baez is going to have a phantom injury before the season begins.
I hope he has.
Because when I was down in spring training, the fake fans came out again to Camelback Ranch in Arizona against the Cubs last Friday night. Pedro Baez comes out, walks 2, gives up a single, loads the bases. Dodgers are winning this game 4-1. And by the time Pedro Baez left that game, it was 5-4 Cubs.
Yeah.
So the Boo Birds came out, and then the Pantone 294 contingency came out, calling them all out, screaming.
During the game?
During the game. Going on Twitter.
Stop booing.
If you are booing right now, stop following me. You are not a real Dodger fan. And the whole argument started back over again.
That's true. Well,
It was like Baez was in midseason
and
form, and I was having
We
flashbacks.
go over this, like we've been going over this over the second half of the Dodger season, now going into the off season now today. It's like, who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do?
Well, that's the whole point. And it's unfortunate because right now we have 3 fake fans on the set.
Yeah.
So
I would
need
boo.
you.
I'm a fake fan.
I need you, Albert, to dip into your acting bag
In my acting bag?
and put on your Pantone 294.
What's my motivation?
hat.
What's my motivation?
Go to like their Twitter profile. I need you to be, for the sake of this argument with Curtis and I, a real fan.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, just look at a Pantone 294 followers Twitter feed and find that argument in it. I understand it, but we're all on the same page.
We're all fake fans. Hashtag fake fans.
Yeah, we're hashtag fake fans.
So that's
But
going
I
to
want
bring
to debate
us.
this. I want to debate this.
You want to debate it or you want to play first?
No, let's debate it first, and then we'll play the game.
Okay. So
you know I like bringing on games. Last time I was here, we
the
had.
question is it okay to boo your own team?
A player on your own team.
Or your own team in general?
I agree, but yeah.
I'll boo Dave Roberts.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, I'll boo Magic Johnson when he's sitting up front pretending to care about baseball.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
like,
wait.
I'm sorry, we're in the middle of the World Series. I'm not going to be, no, where was it? We're in the middle of the NLCS about to clinch, and I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be at Staples Center doing opening night for the Lakers. Really?
I don't even know if it was opening. That was probably a preseason game or something.
Probably,
He was
yeah.
at a Vegas game, like, not watching the Dodgers in the playoffs.
So it comes down to this. It's these are people at work, right? The baseball players. They're at work. The manager. They're at work, and they
I have to sit with
are-
millionaires at work.
and they're performing, and we're paying money to watch
millions
them
of
perform.
dollars.
We're supporting their their
Their
livelihood.
childhood dreams,
We're supporting
their
through-
coke habits,
I'm living
and
through
their
the-
mistresses.
Okay, there's that. But so we are
Their
judging.
defense team when they.
We're fans, so when they do something great, we cheer. When they do something not great, we're supposed to just sit on our hands. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
So the thing about it is it doesn't make a lot of sense for. Yeah, I could see if the whole crowd was throwing batteries a la Candlestick Park, San
Philly
Francisco, or Philly or whatever. I could see
booing
that
Santa
where
Claus
people are
throwing
getting
snowballs.
dangerous, right? Where it's like where someone's health or could be in
Or
danger.
safety, right.
Safety. So that's where I think the line gets drawn.
Well,
but
and here's the thing: it's not like we're going out there and just booing somebody.
because
For
we
in
don't like
order-
them personally.
Right, and in order for you to get booed, you got to have a history of being a bad performer.
Well, let's.
Or
What-
to
who
get
is-
douchebag.
Who is taking on the persona of the true fan in this argument?
Oh, okay, so I'll be the
Is
true
that gonna
fan.
be you?
I'll be the true fan because I'm.
I mean, the main argument.
gonna be hard for
the main
Angry
argument,
Albert.
and he's going to take it on right now. Is you're not an MLB player. You can't do what this guy does. This guy's top 1% baseball player in the world.
You just said that
and
you
you're
could do what
booing him
Otani
as
did
a
against
person.
Kershaw.
Well, yeah.
It's true.
So you argue that with me. We'll take it on. Curtis,
Okay,
Curtis and I
so-
versus you.
You guys are fake fans because you don't care about the team. You're only there for your own amusement. You don't care about their feelings, and people have feelings, And it's not okay to boo them because that makes you a fake fan because you don't really care about them because you're a bandwagoner Fairweather fan. Someone's totally going to grab that clip and play it out of context.
Exactly.
This is, look,
my
best
argument is,
crochet.
okay, so I
That's the
pay,
internet we live in now.
I pay thousands of dollars a year in season tickets, another $1,000 in merchandise, in concession stands, in food. I bring my family out to these games. I work my butt off hard making 100th of what this athlete is making playing baseball, and you're telling me it's okay to cheer him, but I can't boo him? And if that guy gets traded tomorrow to another team, then it's okay to boo him? Because he's still the same person. He still has those feelings.
Well, you don't have
but
to
I'm
go
able
to the games.
boo him if he
Nobody's
gets
making you go to the games. You could be spending those thousands of dollars on other things.
Ooh, good point, Albert.
That is true. But I choose to spend it on the Dodgers. So I do care about the Dodgers. And for me, here's a really good argument. How would you like me to voice my frustration at a player who is underperforming, or we know he's capable of? Let's use Pedro Baez as this example because this is what's hard.
can write
We know
him-
he's capable of pitching very well and being an elite reliever, but when he doesn't do that, how would you like me to voice my frustration, my anger,
I got it.
my stress?
You grab a pen and you write him a stern yet encouraging letter and you mail it to the fan club.
Cursive.
Yes,
Handwritten in
to
cursive.
to the Pedro Baez fan club.
Yes.
Mail it to them. We know he doesn't speak English, so I doubt he'll
So
be
you
able
do it in
to read
Spanish.
it unless I do the letter in Spanish. I've been
Include a picture of yourself in there.
I've been told, a picture of myself. I've been told by fans of your ilk, the true fans,
Real fans,
the
you
real
mean?
Dodger fans,
Real
the
Dodger fans?
the Dodger groupies, that I should just voice my frustration in that hypothetical argument I just posed to you with the person at the seat next to me at the stadium,
Yeah.
or on Twitter. Because the Dodgers front office and the players are just scrolling down their Twitter timelines wanting to know how fans feel about them all the time, because that's exactly what they're doing. Or the person next to me is going to help me to write a handwritten letter note in Spanish to Pedro Baez.
It's true because the person sitting next to you probably is Mexican and speaks Spanish, so you'll make a new friend, and then you expressing your problem to somebody else is a good form of therapy, Michael.
You'll make a new
Yes,
friend.
it's true. It is a good form
And
of
you're
therapy.
gonna make a good friend.
It will help alleviate the stress I feel every time Dave Roberts chooses to take him out of the bullpen and bring him to the mound. But if I want to enact change, if I want this guy not pitching in high leverage situations, not coming in when the team is winning or in a close game and knowing his past performances has the ability to blow it, how am I supposed to voice my opinion to the player itself, the manager, or even the front office that I don't want to see him in these situations? And the next question that a fan would bring up in that point would be, well, you're not helping the situation by booing. How is it helping? It's probably only rattling him and making him pitch worse or getting in his head.
It could happen.
Now, I was just there, okay, last Friday when he came out and the fans were booing him. After they booed another walk to load the bases, game was still intact. The Dodgers were still winning. The pitching coach at the time at this point was Mark Pryor, came out, because Honeycutt was not there, came out to have a mound visit with him.
Former Cubs Mark Pryor?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
He's now with the Dodgers as a pitching assistant. So I'm not saying we don't know whether Mark Pryor was going to come out there or not.
How good is
But
the
when-
Spanish?
Probably not that great.
Okay.
But when the boos reached a fever pitch at that point after the walk to load the bases, that's when he decided to come out and speak to him. Now, I would like to believe
It was the boos.
That's not all the boos, but at least the boos played a role in saying, okay, time out, catch your breath, let's get somebody who's warming up in the bullpen more time to get ready.
Yeah.
Whereas if the boos don't come, if they're quiet, they maybe let him just stay in and continue to pitch, and then the whole thing implodes. I really believe that the fans' boos
Can affect.
if a coach decides to come out at that moment, when he decides to pull him, when he decides to get another guy up in the pen. I mean, I also think that's not the only thing that's going to make that decision, but I do think it helps that decision. Also, you know, I was around the team during the playoffs last year, and Pedro Baez's agent was not too happy with Dave Roberts that he didn't make the postseason roster for the NLCS.
Well,
and the
I'm
World
sure there are
Series.
some financial incentives,
Exactly.
and those financial
Bonuses,
trickle down
things like
into the
that.
agent's
So
pocket.
You need to put him on. You need to put him on. And Dave Roberts was saying, look, it's not my only decision here. And obviously it's him, the front office, everyone who's making the decision who's going to be on the 25-man
See, that's
roster
not fair.
for
He
each
should have been able to
series.
participate.
Yeah, well, but that's the point, though, is
He has feelings, Michael.
Do you think if he had gone through what he went through, if no fans booed and just cheered him all the way, oh, he gave up and blew another save.
Positive
He
encouragement.
blew up another hold.
He could have done better
Let's
with positive
cheer him and
encouragement.
applaud him.
And if you don't like it, you and other fake fans could do silent protest.
I think you would make a good Pantone 294 crew
yeah,
member
I
because
think
you're
so, too.
sounding.
I'm really good at being like
Can
facetious.
you hold one of the corners of
I
the
don't know.
flag?
I think
of
you're
the big
sounding-
flag
I
that's out
probably
there?
could.
I think
They're
you're
probably
making a good
applauding
one.
you right now, saying, "Albert, this
Doing
is
this?
the way."
Yeah.
No, they're going to steal my gimmick.
Yeah. Well, what I think this argument is going to be.
Can I
tough
stop
to
acting
win.
now? Can I vent in frustration?
You can be back now. That was a good job
Yes.
posing the counterpoint.
It's
We
gonna
don't
be
have
tough to
any. We
win.
don't have you guys here, Pantone.
I've
94
invited them on the
fans.
show. I've invited
We
them
don't
on the show
have
multiple
you to
times,
argue
and
for.
they've, I'm going to say declined because they've never responded.
They don't want to argue it out here in
Well,
public.
I'm not even trying to
They
argue.
prefer we voice our
I'm
opinion
not trying
on
to argue.
Twitter.
I'm trying to have an actual adult discussion, which they've refused to do. It's like, hey, come on the show. Let's have a discussion.
I'm coming on the show to have that discussion.
That's true.
With them out there listening and watching. Don't tell. Well, I can't be a fan, unfortunately. But don't tell you guys or anybody else out there how to be a fan.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me how to be a fan. It's like the Marlins man who wears the Marlins jersey to the World Series and sits behind home plate, and people yell at him and scream at him and say, "What are you doing? It's Dodgers Astros. Why are you wearing a Marlins jersey?" Don't tell me how to be a fan.
He's a fan.
I'm a fan of the Marlins.
I heard that he's a rich
And I
lawyer guy
paid-
that has
yeah,
no kids and
he
can
is.
just go anywhere
and
he
I paid
wants.
millions of dollars to sit in these seats. Don't tell me how to be a fan.
Yeah.
If I want to do the same thing when it was Cubs Cleveland, if I want to sit behind home plate in a Dodgers jersey and boo both teams, don't tell me how to be a fan.
You know,
That's me.
you know where he can't do that? In Arizona.
That's true.
They'll make him switch out
They
his
will.
gear,
They will.
or they'll kick him out.
So let's switch. Speaking of gear, let's switch gears. You like that?
Are we going
Let's
to play the
switch
game
gears.
yet?
Let's play the game.
Yes.
Okay, let's play the game.
All right, so we know that like I come on the show, I like playing games. We
It's
had
true.
hockey player or Star Wars character last time.
That was a
which
great
We'll
one.
have to do that again. But there's a game I thought of that we should play. And we'll all come up with ones for each other. Taboo or not taboo? That is the question.
That is the question. Who wants to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
So we are going to propose scenarios, real scenarios that could happen in a game, and we're going to decide.
Or pre-game? Could it
Or
happen
pre-game, sure.
Pre-game?
Whether it's okay to boo or not. And before we jump into this real quick, the preface is like, so I've talked to the people about this argument. They say it's okay to boo Pedro Baez when he comes in a 2-1 game that the Dodgers are winning and loads the bases and gives up a single and they're losing 3-2 because it's his performance that you're booing and he's better. Whether you want to argue he has feelings and the man, that's different. What if you booed him as soon as he came out of the bullpen and he hasn't even thrown a pitch yet?
To
It's
boo-
like-
is this part of the game?
No, this is like the scenarios we're talking about. Like
'Cause I
some
would
people
boo
think, some people say it's okay to boo him when he's doing that, but it's not okay to boo him when he comes out of the bullpen and hasn't even thrown a pitch yet.
Yeah.
I can see that argument.
Yes.
I mean, when Chris Paul first got traded to the Clippers, he showed up at the Dodger Stadium and they booed
Booed.
the heck out of him.
Yeah.
And I was like, he hasn't even played a game yet for the Clippers.
Yeah, but
Then when
understand
he
that
was
it's
like
a Laker
in year
city.
5 and he's in a Clippers jersey and a Dodgers hat at the game and
Yeah.
they're booing him, it's like, okay, yeah, you could boo him because you guys are Lakers fans. Fine. So again, don't tell me how to be a fan.
Well, Justin Turner got booed at the Chargers game with the whole cannon thing. Fans were booing him because he's a Chargers game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because
Exactly.
he's a Chargers fan? I don't get it. I don't know. Anyway,
So you're going to start us off.
so let's have so I'm going to kind of double the scenario here because I'm going to take in consideration that Matt Kemp is our left fielder.
That's true.
Okay, that's not the boo. That's not the game. That's
He
not
will
the
be
thing
your
yet.
starting left fielder
So Matt
against
Kemp is our
left-handed pitching.
Yeah, Matt Kemp's our starting left fielder, and my scenario is Matt Kemp gets turned around on a fly ball, it goes off of his mitt, and 2-run score. Boo or don't boo?
Boo.
Okay, wait, whoa, really? I mean,
Yes, we know he's a shitty outfielder.
Let's say he has 26 home runs.
Can I just remind you,
Boo.
you just said he's a what kind of outfielder?
A shitty outfielder.
He's a 2-time Gold Glove winner.
Yeah.
I don't
in the
care.
outfield.
I don't care. I've seen
So-
I've seen Mr. Oh, I run into my
You know,
teammates.
I'm gonna tell
and,
you that
and
I
I
think
run
An-
into the wall regularly.
I think
Yeah.
Andrew Tolles is actually a worse outfielder.
I
I
never
actually
said he was a
Kemp's
good one.
better- Okay, I'm throwing it out there. Tolles is a worse outfielder than Kemp.
Like everybody knows that
defensively.
Matt
He's
Kemp
always
does the
confused.
zigzag pattern to try and get to a ball because he can't read it off the bat, and then he runs into a wall or another teammate.
And he
I've
gets
seen-
hurt.
Yeah.
I've
and he
seen
misses
you.
months.
Yeah,
I've seen you try to run down a ball. You
I'm
zigzag
not a pro
around, too.
athlete. I'm sorry, I'm not a pro athlete.
I know. I think okay.
I
so
think
that was my.
I would take the softball tournament a little more serious if I was getting paid. Was getting paid $22, $23 million a year, which by
Yes.
the way is going to be in April again, and we're going to win.
let's test Albert on that. So if Matt Kemp can't handle a fly ball, hits off his glove, and 2 runs score,
Yeah.
we both boo.
Yes.
What if Matt Kemp steps into the batter's box and then strikes out?
Well, that's going to happen a lot.
First at bat of the game.
One, I'm going to boo him. I would boo him even harder if he strikes out on a lone away breaking ball.
Well, that, yeah.
So that was a test. I won't boo him if he strikes out in the first inning to end the inning or crush a rally.
Matt Kemp gets announced game 1, I'm booing.
You are.
He comes up to
I am
bat,
not.
I am booing.
I am not booing.
And
Why?
I'm going to boo him because of his comments that he tried to backtrack on a few weeks ago, saying, "Oh, I'm glad you asked me about that. What I meant to say was, no, we heard what you said."
Yep. All right, Albert, it's your turn. To boo or not to boo?
Okay.
He clearly has something prepared.
Whoa. Clayton Kershaw gives up a home run in the 7th inning.
In
Of what game? Yeah, what is the
where?
scenario?
Game 15
He gives
of the
up
season?
a home run in the 7th inning.
Of a playoff game.
It could be a regular season game.
Wait, you got to differentiate.
To not boo if it's a regular season game.
Okay, but what if it's a playoff game?
Boo.
Right, and here's my argument behind booing
And I'm
an
probably booing
individual.
Dave Roberts for leaving him in with his
That's who I'm
history in the
booing.
7th
That's who I'm
inning.
Right, and I boo the players not because of what just happened, but because of their history behind the thing. So you would be booing Dave Roberts more than you would be Kershaw because Dave Roberts should know better. If my grandmother's going to tell you that, hey, Matt Kemp 0-2, you're going to get a slider blown away, and he strikes out, it's like, my grandmother knew that. Why don't you know that? Everybody knows that. So I would boo the hell out of him.
It would be hard for me to boo.
And I'm booing you on history, not booing you on what exactly just happened. So I'm booing you more for being an idiot and repeating the same mistake.
Okay. Good one. That's a good one.
Okay, I got one. My turn. Both of you. Ready? Yu Darvish gets traded back to the Dodgers at the trade deadline.
First of all, I'm not booing. I'm laughing at that. How's that? Okay.
And his first game is against the Giants at Dodger Stadium. He has a no-hitter into the 9th inning, gives up a leadoff single. Boo or not boo?
Okay.
No, I don't boo
But
that.
What if it's 8? What if it's 8-0 Dodgers?
Even if it was 1-0 Dodgers, I don't
Yu
boo that.
Darvish on the mound.
I do. First of all, he's not coming back to the Dodgers.
I don't boo
and
that.
I don't boo that.
I don't
either.
boo that.
I don't boo that. No.
Don't boo that.
I don't. Why would I boo that?
A leadoff single?
Yeah, leadoff
It
single.
blows it-
Well, he
blows
blows
the
the
no-hitter.
no-hitter against the Giants. Let's say he also loses the game. And it's Yu Darvish. I can't just say, like, he comes traded back to the
Yeah.
Dodgers and
Now,
it's his
it-
first
it's
start.
like,
Of
remember,
course you're going to boo
no,
his first
no.
start.
It's like, remember, Rich Hill goes 10 innings and loses 1-0. He goes.
I don't boo
He goes
that.
9. Was it 9 perfect or 9 no hit?
It was perfect until the 9th, I think, and then the 10th. blew
So
everything.
the guy basically threw a perfect game and then loses 1-0 because his offense couldn't help him out.
He
That
also
wasn't his
didn't blow Game 7 of the World Series.
Yes.
Okay, true.
And then say, my only goal is to beat the Dodgers.
True.
After that.
Also true.
Right.
How about
Your
Tommy
turn.
Lasorda? Okay, so Tommy could do a lot of things. Tommy Lasorda.
I'm assuming he's awake.
He's awake, and
Okay.
it's a post game interview, and this might be kind of something you might hear.
Yeah.
He might be giving the interview.
He might be. Tommy disparages one of the current Dodgers, and he's been known to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Boo or not boo? This is Tommy Lasorda.
Which Dodger, though? We need context.
I'm
Detailed
gonna say
context.
he disparages Kenta Maeda, which makes it a little. It could
Yeah,
be,
that's it. Yeah, I like. He's towing the line of controversy
Yes,
with
yes.
the Japanese player.
could be. Boo or not to boo? Tommy Lasorda.
Am I
I'm-
booing Tommy?
Yes.
I'm booing
for making
Tommy.
Comments.
Yeah, I'll boo Tommy.
I'll
on
boo
that.
Tommy.
I'm going to defend Kenta Maeda
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because
Good
remember,
dude.
this is the guy that said we needed to trade Pedro Martinez.
I know.
This is the guy that said, "Oh, Sandy Koufax, leave him in the minors because I want to keep pitching." This is who Tommy Lasorda is.
Yes. Yes.
So I would boo the
he's
shit out of
also
him.
the last world champion
Don't
manager.
care. I
What?
would boo the shit out of him.
I lived in that world
I
championship
didn't.
manager. He's
So I have a funny Tommy story. You ready? From last
Yes.
week as well. So friend of mine is at. Oh, where were we? All these stadiums are.
You were in
It doesn't
Arizona for
matter.
spring
I'm
I'm
training.
in Arizona for spring training. It is an away game. It is not at Camelback Ranch. Could have been the Rangers, the Royals. Could have been the Rockies. Anyways, one of those teams that they're going up against on a road game. Oh, let's say it was Peoria. Let's say it was the Mariners. Okay, and Tommy's behind the visiting dugout, sitting in his usual seats, awake, conscious, and I spot him from the press box. And so I text my friend. I see people going down and getting autographs from him. So I text my friend who's a big Tommy fan. I said, hey, he's there. Go down there and meet him and get his autograph. So all she has on her is her Dodgers shirt that she's wearing. She has like a jacket. So
I like
she
where this is going.
takes off the shirt and asks Tommy to sign it.
Okay.
15 minutes later,
She takes off her shirt and is only wearing the jacket.
Puts a jacket, puts a sweater over.
Okay,
So
okay.
She's fine. She's fine. 15 minutes later, he's still trying to sign this shirt.
Yes.
And I have seen the shirt now. It is literally just like
It's a lot of.
like
lot
if
of
you
scribbles.
accidentally had a pen in your pocket.
Well, he's like
or if you
96
were
years
drunk
old.
and trying to write
He's
left-handed.
also like 96 years old.
So after 15 minutes of doing this, he looks at it and looks back up at her and says, "It's not very good."
Was he trying to do a drawing of?
He was just trying to write his own
name, and he couldn't do it.
He's old. I'm not going to boo him for that. At least he
No,
tried.
this is not a boo or not boo
At
question.
least-
It's
at
just a
least-
funny anecdote,
Right,
where
you know,
Tommy's at right now. So if you do ask him for his autograph, be patient, and probably
Maybe they'll take a thumbprint?
Probably your infant child could probably do a better Tommy.
Maybe a
sorta,
thumbprint.
Yeah,
ink
just
his-
just
ink it.
thumbprint.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a great idea.
Ink
That is
this.
not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, you know.
I once
yeah.
saw a guy trying to get an autograph from Chan Ho Park, and he was trying to get Chan Ho Park to sign a blank like sheet of white paper, and Chan Ho Park was like, "The hell?" And he's like, "Just sign it." And Chan Ho Park was like, "Why?" He goes, "Just sign it. I need you to sign it." And Chan Ho Park's like, "No, get out of here," and just kind of
Refuse the white paper.
yeah. It's like that's kind of
weird.
dicey though. Like, why would you just hand him a piece of white paper? Baseball, hat, a glove.
Maybe he thought someone would take that and then like fake his signature
Yeah.
like
I don't know.
online or something. Do like
Well-
a PDF e-signature.
Well,
or
this
something.
was like
Channel
1996
Park's
or
gonna
something.
Move his MLB
I was a kid when this
401k
happened.
account to like somebody else when he's done playing. All right, taboo or not taboo? Back.
You got another one?
Yasiel Puig
Ooh.
does anything considered not part of baseball?
Cheer. I cheer. Not taboo. Not boo.
I love Yasiel Puig's attitude towards playing the game, and he's turned around his career. So for me, it's hard for me to boo. I do his antics sometimes. You know, the tongue wagging thing was great in the playoffs, and he was excited. And I was kind of like, oh, Yasiel, that's just Puig. But I'm not going to boo him for that. He's having fun. Baseball's a fun game. They should be having fun.
So we
Let's
should
do
be
some more.
booing-
Let's do some more Yasiel Puig
Okay.
taboo or not taboo scenarios.
Okay.
Okay. Yasiel Puig tries to stretch a single into a triple and is thrown out by a mile at third.
Yeah, that's a boo.
Taboo or not taboo?
That's booing. I'm booing that.
Are we winning or losing?
It's a tie game.
I'm booing the shit out of that.
Okay.
I'm booing.
I'm definitely
Now-
doing that in any
now we're
scenario. That's
flipping
bad
it.
baseball.
After it also ends the inning,
Okay,
and a rally
God.
could have been formed, and Matt Kemp literally runs out of the dugout to confront him and get into Yasiel Puig's face. And
I
argue
boo Matt
about the
Kemp. I
decision.
boo Matt
Are
Kemp.
you
I
booing
defend.
Matt
I
Kemp?
defend Yasiel Puig.
Okay, it's pretty clear you're going to boo Matt Kemp in any scenario.
Yeah.
I am not. I still have a Matt Kemp jersey. I'm not booing Matt Kemp.
I
get
just need him
dig
to
that back
apologize.
out.
Okay, here's another one. Ready? Yasiel Puig is 0 for 4. He's wearing the golden sombrero.
Yes.
His fifth at bat in another tie game in the bottom of the ninth. Leadoff, let's just say.
Okay.
He bat flips a foul pop-up to the catcher behind home plate and stares at it and then does the tongue wag. Taboo or not?
I applaud it. I applaud it because right there he's making fun of himself and he understands how big of a problem that just was. He's making fun of himself. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that you have to applaud. That's not a boo. I mean, you know, he's having, because he just had the worst game ever probably right there. I mean, if he hits a home run after striking out 4 times and hits one out and does a bat flip and whatever, then you might want to consider like, hey.
Well, that's
like,
not
kick
bad.
it-
He's
kick
1
it
for
back.
5 with the home run and you take the lead.
Well, that could be good, but you know, you want to. I think players do get pissed about that, though. It's like, come on, you just had a terrible game, and now you're bat flipping. That's kind of where I think people kind of.
But who's getting pissed off? His own teammates? Like, you think
No.
Turner's going to say something to him?
Nobody's getting
Or do you think
pissed.
the salty dudes on the other team, they're like, that's not
Yes.
how you play baseball.
Yes.
I'm old and out of touch.
Yeah.
All right, you got another one? You got another taboo or not taboo?
Let's see.
That
I
is
don't
the
know if I
question.
have another one. I wasn't
Taboo
thinking
or
of
not
one.
taboo? You show up to the stadium and you run into an army of the Pantone people.
I'm not going to boo them.
And what happens?
You boo them.
And they're yelling at you, calling you a fake fan.
Yeah, and I'm going to boo them.
And I boo them.
I
yeah.
boo them.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have any problem with the Pantone people. I just, like you, I don't want anybody to tell me how to be a fan and react in the stadium.
What if we
as long
flip
as
it and
I'm
start
not-
calling them fake fans?
I'm not. They're great fans.
They're groupies, and I want to bring
They are
something.
groupies.
I want to bring something up about them. A few of these people that we're talking about Puig just 2 years ago were calling for the Dodgers to trade Puig and have Scott Van Slyke your starting right
Yeah.
fielder. Okay. These are the fans that we're dealing with.
Real
that are telling
fans.
us
Those are real
Those are the real
fans.
fans.
Well,
You know what I
Albert's
mean?
been
We're the fake fans,
Albert's
right?
been talking about
the
trading
same
him.
fans who are like, we don't want you, Darvish, back, and that's fine. That's an argument that can be had.
That is true. I was
But-
saying we should trade Puig.
Yeah, you were.
I said that for what, like first 3 years that we had him?
But yours pretty straightforward. It's if a person is not performing, Jock Peterson,
It's
you're going
a
to
business.
trade that.
It's a business. That's what it is. Like, listen, I'm going out there rooting for the Dodgers.
Yes.
You know, if an individual does well, you root for the individual.
Okay, I got one.
If
I got one.
if
Oh, I got
someone's
one. I
like
like
a
it.
legendary
I'm ready.
player that comes back to the team or whatever, yeah, you root for the player. But ultimately, the goal is to win a World Series. And if you have this guy that was at the time constantly giving us problems, constantly running into the bases, like, and not hitting a cutoff man, and this guy was nothing but trouble, and he wasn't performing, cut him.
I would have, yeah, but that can't just be the only decision. I would have traded him then for Stanton before Stanton signed that monster deal.
Yes.
Because he lives in Miami. Puig is a huge Cuban contingency.
Right,
He would
Stanton.
like
That would have
is
made
from Los
sense.
Angeles.
Stanton, the Dodgers could pay that ginormous contract. He's from LA. They play the same position. That would have been a move. You
Otani
could
should have gone to New
probably
York.
made
That
it at the time.
lineup
But
with Otani in it.
even you don't just trade Yasiel Puig for the sake of trading him. He has a $6-7 million a year contract. It's very minor in today's market. It's for a guy, you just have to change your expectations. For a guy who's plays Gold Glove winning defense in right field, has a cannon for an arm, but maybe he's just going to be a career 230, 240 hitter and
I
hit
think
20
he's
home runs.
260.
And that's all.
That was never my issue with Yasiel Puig. I always was like, okay, great defensively, amazing arm, mediocre hitter, because like you said, he's going to hit 230, 240, right? Mediocre hitter, but he's got a lot of raw power. My thing was that, okay, Yasiel Puig could go into any major sport and be good at it because he's so athletically God-given, like this talent of his. What he was not, he was an athlete. What he was not was a baseball player. He had a very tiny baseball IQ. The guy was making the biggest mistakes he would make when you're playing T-ball.
But if you have to put up with some of those mistakes for the raw power home runs,
I'll
for
take
the
it.
throws from the warning track to
I'll
throw
take
out a
it.
guy at third, if that's what you have to put up with, I'll take that
And
too.
that's cool, but when you hear things like Greinke, who's your like ace pitcher, who is about to win the Cy Young, who is someone you're trying to court back onto the team, gets into an argument with him on the bus, grabs his luggage and throws it out into the
That's
street.
just funny.
I mean, yeah,
That
that's
is
funny.
just funny.
That
But
is
Greinke
funny.
had a problem with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Greinke's
Greinke's just a
kinda
chap ass.
Has that like Asperger's, like weird social anxiety kind of person. He's a hard person to get along with. You have to understand who he is in order to get along with him. And Yasiel Puig is a kid and will always be a kid at heart forever. And that's
fits
gonna
in well with
that's
this
gonna
team
clash
now.
with the personality.
he fits
that
in with the
Greinke
team
has.
now.
That's going to clash with Matt Kemp, who was always focused and driven and
Matt
about winning.
Kemp, they seem to be buddies right now. It looks like
yeah,
they are.
but I feel like it's.
just because Matt Kemp's trying to get back on the
I
team.
feel and I also feel like it's really played up, right? Like
Yeah.
Henley's like, look who I found.
yeah.
It's
They're really
Kemp and Puig hanging out, and they're like taking photos together and stuff.
hey
like,
better than them.
I feel like
not
there's a lot
talking-
of like doing it. I tell you right now, their lockers are very close to each other in spring training right now. They don't really talk that much. They're not buddy-buddy, but
Okay.
it looks like buddy-buddy on social media and everywhere else.
It's not Kike Hernandez level of let's.
No, they're not
yeah.
hating each other right now. I will say that, but they're not like buddy-buddy all the
Okay,
time.
here's our last one.
I got two more, but go
Oh,
on.
you have two more?
Got
I don't even
two.
know if we have
I
that
got
much
two great
time.
ones.
We have to wrap this up pretty
taboo
soon.
or
but
not taboo?
Jock Peterson makes the team. This is not even a field thing, or he's on the field.
No,
or
this is a
batting.
real-life thing going on
this
right
is
now.
it. He makes the team over Andrew Tolles. Andrew Tolles.
Right now, Jock Peterson is starting in the minors. You cannot have a sentimental view. I mean, let's say the Dodgers somehow come back and beat Houston in Game 7 and win the World Series.
He might be
Jock
the MVP.
Peterson might be your MVP
Yeah.
Right.
of the World Series. And the guy's still struggling in spring training. He can't hit a lick. He was putting on social media, I'm getting in shape and all and getting these meals. He still looks out of shape to me. He looks the same build,
Yeah.
same guy. He's struggling at hitting. He's fighting for an outfield spot in a crowded position where Kemp and Tolles and Puig and Taylor have already
Verdugo.
separated themselves. Well, Verdugo can still stay down there. He's not necessarily his time yet. But to me, I boo if Jock Peterson's over Andrew Tolles opening day.
I don't
he
think
needs
it's
to
gonna
start
happen.
in the minors. You can still have sentiment for his great performance in the World Series and have the ability once he's hitting again to bring him back up, but not right now. You think so?
I would not boo him. I would boo the management team.
Well, that's
because
you're
the
booing
man-
the decision.
Yeah.
Because the management team would be like, oh, well, his batting average versus lefties in right field on grassy days on a Tuesday night or blah, blah. I'm like, listen, play the hot hand, especially in the playoffs. Play the hot hand. In the playoffs, he was the hot hand. But to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna be doing this bullshit that we do every season now, where we're gonna rotate all of our outfielders and half of our infield because of these pitchers, and that's why
Still
we're
gonna
making
do
this
it.
type of roster decision. I'm just like, oh god.
Still gonna do
All right, I
it.
got two more. Ready?
Quick ones.
Taboo or not taboo? Clayton Kershaw goes on the DL again with a back injury
Ugh.
in the summer.
Mm.
Whether it's legit or not, they're going to give him 4 to 6 weeks off to get ready. They're way ahead in first place.
He's not gonna win the Cy Young then.
Correct.
I'd
But
do that.
He is deciding that this year he will actually play in his own ping pong tournament and win it
While on the DL?
while on the DL. Taboo or not taboo?
Ping pong is not that athletic. I think
You should see him play. It's pretty athletic.
Is he
For
pretty
him it
into
is, yeah, he's amazing.
Okay. Dude,
I'm not going to boo it because I'm part of that strategy going, yeah, let's phantom injury you so you're a little healthier
What
for the
if-
playoffs.
What if he played with his
re-injures
other
it?
hand,
What if
his
he
right hand?
re-injures it, but he wins his own ping pong tournament?
But what if he plays with his right hand instead of left?
I'm down with that too.
Then that's okay. Then I don't.
But if he gets hurt playing ping pong,
Yeah.
I'm going to boo him and I'm going to call him an idiot.
Well, yes, that's bad.
But
he
I would be totally in favor of shutting him down for 2 to 3 weeks, or what is it, 10-day DL in the middle of the season, July, August, just to rest him.
Yeah, I think they might do that. Again,
I would do
if
it a
it's
few
there.
times
Yeah.
with him. I would let
They'll
that
do it
happen a
again.
few
That
times.
10-day deal is very
kinda
beneficial
worked
to this
well.
front office.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not going to boo if he wins the tournament or even if he re-injures himself
No.
his back. Because we support his ping pong playing apparently as
It's
well.
for charity.
Yeah, it is for charity.
It's for charity.
I would
Agree.
actually watch
Let's cheer
on
it.
TV Kershaw playing ping pong. I'd watch that.
He chomps at the bits. He really wants to play, but the past, I think it's 3 seasons now, he has been on the DL when it's time to do
That
his
seems
ping pong tournament,
suspicious.
and he can't play because of the optics of it, but he wants to play because it's not, you're doing this.
Is he
Come
on the sidelines coaching and yelling at people?
Yeah, he gets really into it and watches. All right, and then the last one, right? Pedro Baez comes in. Dodgers are up.
Ooh.
2-1.
You're
Gives up a single, 2 walks, bases are loaded. The Boos are already coming out, okay?
Yeah.
Gives up the tying run, tie game, comes out, comes to the plate to bat
What?
in the bottom half of the inning.
Why?
To boo
Is
or
there
not
like
to
is
boo?
there like 50 like pitching changes already?
Everybody's hurt. He's the only one.
I don't
who
know.
can
They
bat?
want to wait. He comes to bat.
That means he's coming back out to the mound.
yeah, that
next
No.
could
inning.
probably come back out
I
to the
would
mound.
cheer him on because I'm hoping for a Bartolo Colon like comedy at bat because I've never seen the guy bat.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
right, yeah.
No boo.
Nobu.
No vote from you.
Nobu sounds
That's
good
a
right
tough
now. I'm
one.
hungry.
I am booing because he's coming back out. The
I'm
next
booing
inning.
for the same reason.
Yeah, and I'm not
booing
booing
because
him.
the decision is he's probably coming back to the mound, and if he's not, why is he batting for himself then?
I would like to see his swing, so I would be cheering that part like Albert, but I would be booing that he'd be coming out the next
What
inning.
if we switched it and it was he comes out and he throws a perfect inning, and you're cheering like, hey, he didn't blow it, and then he comes back to the mound to bat,
I were
knowing
him,
he's going to get a
honestly-
second inning.
If
Then
I were
are
him,
you
honestly,
booing?
I would appreciate the boos and feed off of them to make it like a sarcastic type of like, oh yeah, that's my gimmick. I get booed. And even when he started performing a lot better, we should still boo him to keep the gimmick.
This is the gift of the day. There's no gift of the day today.
No,
We
there
just-
is a gift of the
we
day,
have
guys. The
Michael
gift of the
here.
day today is going to be some clip that I'm going to later find of Pedro Baez blowing a game. But our cameras are about to die. That's what our studio head is telling us. So what are we doing?
Do the gift of the day when he was booed in Chicago. Actually, he got the win last night. Maybe
Oh, did he? Whatever, but I'll find a gift of the day to put here somewhere. But anyways, guys, that's been our show. Thanks, Mike, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks,
follow him
Michael.
on Twitter. Don't forget to stalk us on Twitter at Best Coast Show. Don't forget to follow all the Instagram stuff, also at Best Coast Show. You can find our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, really anywhere podcasts are heard. Unfortunately, that is the end of our show, and you guys have a good night.